Hello and welcome to the Lost Holocron. As always, I am your host, James. Above me is my co-host, Richard. Richard, how are you doing?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm feeling good.
We excited?
I'm always excited.
We got a lot of good stuff lined up tonight. We're going to talk about the top stories this week in pop culture, theories and fan casts for the upcoming X-Men film. And of course, we're going to be discussing the Acolyte ahead of its premiere next week. Let's dive in. So, I think we want to start with the news this week. I've got a couple of articles here that I'm going to throw up on the screen, and then we can talk about real quick. So Cartoon Network is going to bring back classic Toonami to Adult Swim in a new programming block dedicated to the old lineup called Toonami Rewind. And it'll be Fridays at 5 p.m. starting this week.
Toonami, bro. That brings back memories. I think I'm a little slow for that, but I remember hearing that. And like, I was always a fan of Adult Swim.
Absolutely. But like, Toonami was early enough that like it came on right after you got out of school. And the shows they're bringing back. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sailor Moon.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Okay.
Naruto.
I love Dragon Ball, but the Kai, they removed like all the blood and all the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's because it's at 5 p.m. And that's probably like a standards and practices thing.
I remember always watching like Robot Chicken and Aqua Team Hunger Force back in the day when like all that stuff was going on. That stuff was so good.
Remember staying up way past your bedtime to watch, what was it? Like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, like all the adult late night anime they used to air.
Cowboy Bebop was like one of my friends' like favorite shows. So, like we'd always like watch that when we were blazing. Like it was like it looked dope as hell. And the main character, the way he like had the suit and he was smoking a cig, he always looked boss.
He did.
Yeah.
The next one I have for us. I think we've done something on this before, but it's been a long time, and we got an update this week. Paul Bettany's coming back as Vision in a 2026 Marvel series with Terry Matalas serving as the showrunner. So we're getting Paul Bettany back for more Vision. What do you think?
Love that, but does it need to be a series? Like Marvel has kind of been on the rocks lately, and I feel like some of these series can be like a special. Like how Guardians of the Galaxy had the holiday special, and it was dope. It was one story. We might not need 6 episodes of Vision. We could just do one series, like an hour-long thing, and that does his story.
Okay, because we know this is going to be 8 episodes, 30 minutes long. 45 at the most, I feel, is what a Marvel show will run. I think it's rare that we get a full hour.
Yeah.
And that's not just true of Marvel. Disney's been doing it too. But I mean, I know why, Like, they feel like the tighter storytelling saves money on the budget. But this is going to be a lot of CG. And you and I both watched Secret Wars.
Secret Invasion? Yeah,
Secret Invasion.
Trash, bro. And, like, what are you going to do with the story unless you're bringing Wanda back? Which they've, like, said she's dead. Like, I don't believe that. But, just give people what they want. Not WandaVision Season 2, but, like, Wanda and that story kind of just... Again, that's what we want. I don't think I need a Vision series of like what he's doing for 8 episodes, unless he's chilling with the Avengers or other characters. You know what I mean?
So hear me out. The showrunner, Terry Matalas, apparently did Picard, 12 Monkeys, which was fantastic.
The TV show,
MacGyver.
The TV show, or the movie, 12 Monkeys.
Probably the TV show, it seems, but I can confirm that real quick. But I mean, Picard, it's controversial, but I liked it.
I like Picard a lot, just because I was a huge nerd and I'm like a little older, so I watched The Next Generation on fucking TV. You know what I mean? And I feel like they did pretty well, and they kind of gave fans what they wanted. Like, it was like a reuniting of the crew. You had Picard, you had Riker, you had all these dudes up there. Kind of what we wanted in the sequels. We wanted to see Han, Leia, and Chewie and Lando and all them back together, and we never kind of got that. Like Picard did that, so it at least pleased the fans the right way.
So to answer your question, the show.
Okay, I didn't watch the show, but I love the movie.
The show was so good.
It was?
Yes, bro. As soon as I read that, I was like, this actually might be very, very interesting. Also, I'm gonna give it up right here. Fire title, Vision Quest.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like very Archer-esque from like FX back in the day.
Yes, I like that. What else do we have this week?
Acolyte coming soon.
Acolyte next week. You guys will be able to see us do a reaction to the Acolyte the day after it comes out next Thursday. That's going to be our whole show.
Yeah, and we get 2 episodes too, so
I'm so excited.
I like the 2-episode premiere drop. Like, I don't think it's always necessary. Like, you're not going to see that on House of Dragon, but for a show like this, I think it helps.
Yeah, but Deadpool and Wolverine, they've set their R rating. The first ticket day sale is going to be July 26th, right? No, this past Monday.
Yeah, no, I bought them. I was about to say I got tickets already.
200,000 fans have already bought tickets at the time of the article that I'm reading here.
Yeah, bro. This movie's going to do well. Like, I know they say like cinema and the movie theaters are in trouble, but you know, certain
Well,
movies...
Furiosa, I don't know how that one flopped. I haven't seen it yet. Did you?
That's why, because you haven't seen it and I haven't seen it, and
I'm broke,
bro.
I have a kid.
We both know in a month and a half, 2 months, it's gonna be on streaming.
Dune
Why
2.
go to the movie and see it if you know? Like, do you remember like the 2000s and like the late 90s and like how like a movie would come out and it wouldn't be on VHS or DVD for like 2 fucking years? Like, you don't have to wait anymore. It's like a couple of weeks and then it's on. Like, I was gonna go see the Hunger Games prequel, and then, you know, like you, I have a kid, I kept having things to do, and then one day I turn on Amazon and it's there. I was like, oh, I don't need to go there. It's right there. Boom.
My child, unfortunately, is the bane of my pop culture watching existence because I love her, and I'm like, I'll watch it after you go to bed, and I've made it 1 episode into the 3-body problem, and I still have 30 minutes because my wife fell asleep. So
yeah, because you're tired too, man. You're like putting the kid away, but like, besides, you know, the obvious, you know, problem with like not as many good movies out there, the movie theaters are really expensive, man. It used to be like, you know, $12, and then now it's, you know, $20 minimum for just the ticket. That's a lot. Buying nachos and popcorn and soda, like you're spending like $40 just on you. Like, nah, bro, I'll wait.
But Deadpool and Wolverine worth your time, huh?
Fuck yeah. Like, absolutely, like the high-end Marvel. If Star Wars ever fucking makes another fucking movie again, I'm going there. Yeah.
I wonder why it's worth your time. I'm not gonna lie. When they said they were going to make a better version of the Dune popcorn bucket, I don't think this disappoints.
It goes really hard, honestly. Like, it looks like a good coffee mug with just like popcorn flowing out of its mouth.
Have you seen the commercial?
Nah.
The little, I think it's a tweet. Let me pull it up, and I will let you watch this for the first time.
When is it?
Let's see here.
I can't wait for this movie though, bro. Like, I haven't been in a while, and like I'm trying to avoid leaks, which is impossible because, you know, that's all Twitter is now. It's just like, this actor's there, this actor's there, this actor's there.
I've muted the sound. Look at that tongue, bro. Why did they do that? They didn't have to do that.
You know why?
They didn't have to give him a tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan Reynolds is just a little weird. Just a little bit. See, look, like they're not even instructing him. They're just like, we're giving you this bucket. Go play
Do
around.
what you want. Have fun, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm like really excited. I think this movie is going to do well. I don't know how well Marvel's going to do after this because a couple projects after that don't really look as good, or like, you know, guaranteed hits. But this one looks pretty good.
All right, and then we're gonna move on to your favorite segment where you torture me. That's one wild popcorn bucket, right? That's exactly what I said when I saw it this morning. That video is only like 6 hours old. So, do you want to explain, since we have a whole bunch of new people here tonight, how Revenge of the Pick works, since it is your brainchild?
Well, for one, I love the name because that's like my favorite prequel movie, and I was like, you know, I want to do little gags because we're always, you know, discussing what our favorite things are. So Revenge of the Pick this week, I think the first one is going to be who do you think did a better job? You know, we could do this one. Is if you
This is
could
the one.
remake and like redo a series and make it, better, because obviously these two are kind of like high controversy. What would you do? Would you remake Kenobi or would you remake the Book of Boba Fett?
That's hard because I like both of these. But if I could remake one,
Love
does
them
it
both.
still have to be a TV show? Does it still have to be like 6 or
No,
8
no,
episodes?
still a TV show, but it's a better TV show. You know what I'm saying? It's like more towards Andor, less towards fucking Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
You can't just use it. Well, that feels like cheating if you give me the right answer.
I mean, no, my personal choice is Kenobi. I'd rather them do Kenobi because, like, the Book of Boba Fett could always be fun, but Kenobi, it could have been like epic, and I liked it. But
Yeah.
it could have been way better, like handled.
That's actually what I was thinking. Was like, I mean, if you could do one better, I feel like that elevates Obi-Wan to a whole different level because it was already really good. There's only a couple of parts of it I disliked. Personally, 8 out of 10. I've watched it twice now.
He
But
carries that series. You know what I mean? Like,
if you elevate it a little bit, maybe give it a bigger budget, we see some extra scenes or something. I feel like that could really put some meat on the bone there that would make that one on Andor's level.
I think you needed to raise, because like that one time when you're just on a planet and there's the little gate. It's like, this is Star Wars. Like, have more Coruscant. And like, I like Reva as a character, but you need to change her motivation and her like part in the story completely, because like it should have always been Hayden and Ewan and like the whole story and that in the background, and that was kind of more towards the front, which I think kind of like detracted a lot of people.
See, the thing I actually really liked about her story was we got like, okay, so the whole reason that she is an Inquisitor is because she is angry at Anakin, and then I think she realizes who he is at some point in the show. It's been a few months since I've seen it. And man, just to see her be like, oh, I'm on the wrong side, and immediately decide to change there at the end, I think was a really powerful choice. I think, like I said, if the episodes were longer, we got some more character development on both Obi-Wan and Anakin, or Vader rather, and Reva, I think they would have had a chance to do a lot better job. Like if they got the same number of episodes as Andor.
Yeah. You needed more story to tell.
Or perhaps I just want more. I'm not sure.
Like, because I like remember watching the show and I loved it, but like rewatching it, I was like, not that it's a mess, but it could have definitely been a lot better. You know what I mean?
All right. Your next one. What is this?
Who do you think did a better job? You know what I mean? Like the younger Xavier and Magneto, or the older classic ones from the OGs. Not who's your favorite.
Ian McKellen. Who did a better job?
Who did a better job?
As much as I love,
your favorite is.
I don't know. This one's really tough because I feel like that's two squads of really great actors. Honestly, though, I do have to give it up to Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy. I really think that they had like more powerful scenes between the two because it was stuff we never saw on screen.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the animated series, while they were different actors, you saw a lot of Magneto and Xavier as old. But seeing them young was something that was completely different for me.
Yeah. And what does it for me is like, I think, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, they did insane jobs. They were A1 perfect. Absolutely. However, like one thing that's kind of lost is that you never see Magneto truly angry. And that's something, Fassbender was able to do in like Days of Future Past and First Class. Like that one scene where he's in the bar with the German people and he just hits him with the knife and pulls it right back.
Yes.
Like that was insane. Like we need more of that. And that's why I hope when they, redo the X-Men for the MCU, that they just bring them back and just kind of like, the multiverse people look alike, use the same actors.
I agree. I'd like to see them come back, but unfortunately, when we get to these fan casts in just a second, you're going to hear some wild stuff out of me. So, what's this one?
All right,
I don't like this.
This is unfortunately like had to do with the toxic internet culture in the article that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Who do you think has had a harder time in their fandom? Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in the MCU, or Daisy Ridley as Rey in the Star Wars universe? They both had a rough time.
Okay, so let me ask this. If I'm not mistaken, Daisy Ridley did delete her Instagram and like dropped off social media for a couple of years, did she not? Am I imagining that?
Kelly, I think Tran did, who played Rose.
Maybe you're right.
I think Daisy did as well. But
But
I think Brie never was really like active on it. That's why
mm,
they both kind of like avoided like social media.
and see, I feel like that's how you win in this situation. Like genuinely, if every time you get on there, somebody is giving you the business about your role that is in a franchise that is so massive that it becomes the role of a lifetime sort of deal.
Yeah, millions of people, like not just a couple hundred, a couple thousand, like millions of people being
Yeah.
like anonymous trolls, like hating.
So honestly, I think this one's a tie. If I'm
You think
being
it's fine?
very genuine, I think the best thing you can do is like what they did, what Kelly Marie Tran did, and just delete everything. You know, you make yourself a fake account on something, give away no idea who you are, and just live anonymous on the internet.
Well, people have done that. I think a couple like NBA stars, they're like they just create like fake accounts and they just battle it till like, yo, you're a fucking moron, blah blah blah. And, like, I love it, you know.
But that question was inspired by this article where Kathleen Kennedy says, quote, I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with toxic fandom attacks a bit more, which very true.
Yeah, obviously.
Because of the fan base being so male dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Hard agree. Operating within these giant franchises now, with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying, and that is the end of the quote. And yeah, that's why I genuinely like you only win if you do not have social media. I feel like because you have to ignore these people because they are not worth your time.
Yeah, man. It's honestly like terrible because that's part of the reason that like I would never like really want to be like super famous because they're just half the internet just hating on you for no fucking reason. And
Yeah,
I think Brie kind of deals with it a little better because she just she had other very famous roles. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And like she's able to like say, hey, I'm not just Captain Marvel. I've done these other things. With Daisy, like I don't think she's had that. She's had other roles, but nothing really notable like that.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see Daisy Ridley in something absolutely like box office breaking because I liked Rey. And I'd like to see her have a successful career that isn't ruined by a toxic fandom, if that's the
There's
case.
even Natalie Portman who said that she
Yeah.
got so much shit after the prequels that she was basically unhireable. And the
Mhm.
only reason she got, I think it was V for Vendetta after that, is because somebody vouched for her.
Which is wild to me because she is such a good actress.
Insane. Like, it's like the Black Swan we're talking about, and she had to like beg for fucking roles because so many people just hated her in Star Wars. And now it's like everybody was like, oh, I always loved Padme. It's like, where were you in the early 2000s,
Ahmed Best even had the sort of thing happen.
I forget his name, but Lloyd, I think, the kid.
Jake Lloyd, yeah.
Jake Lloyd. Hayden,
Yeah. And I hate that for Hayden. Like, I'm so glad that he's gotten such a good, welcoming comeback, if I'm honest, because he 100% deserves it. But are you ready?
I'm ready.
For our fan casts for this. So, I want you to go first. So we have Cyclops, we have Wolverine, we have Mystique, we have Jean Grey.
Let's see if I get these names right. Hold on.
Oh no, I've already switched the image. How could I?
All right, so on mine was Glenn Powell, who was in Top Gun. And this dude, he's actually said he doesn't want to be in Oscar bait movies or superheroes like recently, but I think that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just something like you just say to be cool.
He does look like a Cyclops too.
Exactly.
I'll give you that.
Like he looks kind of like a douchebag, which Cyclops looks like. I'm sorry. And he's a pretty boy.
He's a Boy Scout though. That's the point.
Like I think he'd be great. And I think like it's gonna be impossible to recast Wolverine. It's fucking impossible. Yeah. Hugh Jackman is kind of like like Tony Stark gets with Robert Downey Jr. Like it's just going to be impossible because people are always going to compare you to the original. So I think if you kind of go outside the box, you know what I mean, it would work. And he's short, and I think it's time to get like a 5'3"
short King Wolverine,
fucking psycho Wolverine. And like you see that movie with him with the guns. You know what I mean?
Guns Akimbo. I was about to bring that up. I was like, if you've seen that, like when he's holding the gun stapled to his hand in the street, the meme of it.
Yeah, just
I could see that as a Wolverine.
Him with claws now. And then Rebecca Ferguson, because she's amazing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think she'd be a really good Mystique. You know what I mean? Like very like the way she talks, the way she handles herself when she walks, it could be crazy. And I've always been a fan of Karen, so I think her as Jean Grey would be pretty dope. And I think they kind of look like a couple, like her and Glenn, like they could do that, whatever, you know what I mean? And then you have like Wolverine hugging over on the side.
Yeah, I really like her for Jean Grey too, which is why these are mine.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're thinking, but hear me
I
out.
feel like you threw in Taylor Swift there just to like throw Bob in unit and be like, yeah, Taylor Swift,
No,
the
I'm
next
gonna
Marvel
tell
movie.
you why when we get there. So first, I have Misha Collins from Supernatural.
Okay.
Now he looks slightly less jawy, but hear me out.
Yeah, he ain't as cute as
You've
the other
watched
dudes in that.
Supernatural, right?
I've seen clips because like after you sent it to me, I was like, who's this dude? And I looked a couple up.
So if you're familiar with D&D, he plays like a lawful good angel.
Okay.
So sometimes like he doesn't understand the human concept, but he always tries to do the right thing according to God's laws.
All right.
And I think that he could do Wolverine. Also, I believe he is short. I don't want to look up his height because I don't want to know.
Dude's
Now,
like 6'4", like fuck.
my next one for Wolverine is Scott Eastwood. And that's because I've seen Clint Eastwood grow out the chops before.
Okay. I remember him
And
from Pacific Rim 2.
I was about to say I loved Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah.
So I got to give it up to him. Taylor Swift, because I'm tired of them painting Zendaya different colors. It's somebody else's turn. And you know what would be the funniest thing to me is to have her come back as Mystique instead of the Dazzler, because you're just going to paint her blue and her powers have nothing to do with singing.
You got to find someone who doesn't mind getting painted blue too, because like I like Jennifer Lawrence in the first two movies, but then by the third and the fourth one, she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be painted, so no." And it's like, dude, really?
Yeah. My alternate for that particular reason is David Cross.
Okay.
You've seen Arrested Development, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Dr.
Oh,
Tobias Fumke.
But like, I just hope like, what about for like Professor X? I know you said you had an out of the box Professor X and Charles Xavier one.
Okay. Look, I think we all want Giancarlo Esposito to be in something.
He was
right?
cast in Marvel. Like it happened. They
But
haven't
we
told
don't
us.
know what.
Yeah. So there's a possibility.
So, and number two, I think he himself has said at some point he would like to be Professor X when he was asked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, he's always the bad guy. I want to see him play a good guy.
Yeah.
And then Stellan Skarsgård for Magneto, because the man's monologuing is magnificent. He's already been in Andor, so...
Yeah. Anything Stellan has done, he's kind of like excelled at. You know what I mean? He was like funny in Thor 2. You know how hard that is? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really do too many bad things.
And I mean, just to like see him play Luthen, who's already that kind of anti-hero that you can tell is not a good guy, but you're also like, but he's not wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that this would be very...
I know this is kind of off topic. How do you think they should bring in the X-Men? Because the only thing we've seen so far is that at the end of the Marvels, one of the characters kind of goes off into another universe, like Monica Rambeau.
Mm-hmm.
She wakes up, she sees her mother, who's not her mother, same actress, different character, and then Kelsey Grammer as Beast. So obviously the X-Men are in there, so like, do they bring him in like through a rift? Is it the multiverse? Like how would you like to see the X-Men brought in?
Clean slate.
Clean slate?
Clean slate. They're just the X-Men. They've always been there. I'm sure that the whole point of Deadpool and Wolverine as a whole is to kind of clear the table, so to speak. I think that's why the TVA is in it. But, I think that is to finally bring Deadpool into the universe alongside with the X-Men. Is like, we're done with these. They don't exist anymore. We have killed them on screen in the movie. We're done.
Do you think Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna be like the first? Because we know like Secret Wars is happening. Mm-hmm. That's the Avengers movie. We kind of know that storyline. Like everything kind of comes together, random characters, and then probably we're gonna get a soft reboot, and then the whole MCU is gonna start again. Do you think this Deadpool and Wolverine movie is kind of like the first step into that happening?
Maybe, because we do see Ant-Man dead.
Yeah, one of the characters.
But, yeah, because that could be, what is his name? Hank Pym, the old guy.
Yeah, we just see the costume. We don't know if it's, the multiverse, that exact one, because now that the multiverse saga is kind of in the middle and almost over, they kind of have to do, what the Infinity Saga did, where like, Ragnarok happens and the villain finally comes, and we're all together here at this one point, And I think Deadpool and Wolverine have kind of like the really good opportunity to say, hey, fans of this universe is here, we are here, and now we can all go from here because, phase 4 and 5 were, for some people, a little disjointed. Not me, I thought it was great.
Like, I mean, we know a reboot has to happen at some point. The actors who are still in it that have been in there from the early days have got to be getting burnt out. Like, not because it's bad, just because I'm sure that as an actor, you don't want to play the same role for 10 years and then just keep doing that until your career is over. I personally would want to do other stuff.
Yeah. That's why I'm surprised and happy that big name actors like Giancarlo, like, who's the guy who's playing Professor Reed in Fantastic Four?
Jim Halpert?
No. From The Last of Us and fucking Game of Thrones.
Oh, I should know this, but I cannot think.
Yeah, but like big name actors, are still coming in because they want to play. Pedro Pascal and Giancarlo. Like, we still are getting big people who are like, no, I want to come in now and continue to do this stuff. So I think, they need to do what the MCU did in the beginning when they cast a couple of knowns for that time. Because when Thor and Loki came in, they were stars, but they weren't stars like they are like after they kind of blew those roles up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be really interesting to see what we end up with there. But, and I cannot get a photo of it because we are out of PDF conversion credits for the week.
I'm dead. You get a credit. You're like, nah, you get more.
Well, we don't pay for them. We use the free ones. But once we run out of the free ones, we're out of the free ones. So we're just going to work with a photo of the Acolyte that we already have. But that's what we're talking about for the rest of this week. Nope, that's not it. You can't see them. They're tiny.
I can't see it. Is that it? I need my specs. Excuse me, sir. Are you there?
I really should have started naming these way before now. We'll go with this one.
I'm excited to see.
I gotta delete that one. Don't be.
I'm excited for the Acolyte, but I do have a few like concerns and fears. Like, I don't like the 30-minute. Like they said, it was going to be like 30-minute run time. I think it needs to be longer.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. It really should be longer.
Like the production value. Production value, like I'd like I said this last week. Like I like all those like costumes look a little too neat. I think like Gilroy set the mark with Andor, where Bix, Cassian, the Imperials, they all look so good and so authentic. And I hope they don't kill I figured her name. What's her name? Who played Trinity in the Matrix? Carrie-Anne Moss. I hope they don't kill her in the first 2 episodes. I'll be fucking pissed because she's a great actress and they need to utilize her.
I agree. I don't think she'll die immediately, but I don't see her making it out of the series alive. That's just my speculation. She's too cool to live in Star Wars, I think.
What do you think of the main concern people talk about where they say, like, there's that line from the Phantom Menace about we haven't seen the Sith in 1,000 years, blah, blah, blah. And they're saying that these might be Sith. Do these characters all die? So that's why nobody knows? Like, are we just retconning stuff and yada yada? Like,
I mean, here's what I think. We go one of two ways. They're not going to say the word Sith in front of any Jedi ever, forever in the show. They're going to call themselves Acolytes, probably. That's where we get the title from, if I had to guess. Okay. But if not, I really doubt that they will call themselves Sith to anybody other than themselves. And I think we'll only see 2 people who are actually Sith. I think we've got like a Count Dooku, Asajj Ventress, Darth Maul, Savage Opress type situation going on here.
Yeah, because there's the girl with braids who's like the former apprentice who goes to the bad side. So she's probably an apprentice to both, the new bad guy and the main character of the story who's searching after her. The guy who was in Squid Game.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm interested to see, like, how did she fall to the dark side when this is supposed to be, like, how are they introducing us to the idea of the waning era of the High Republic and get us ready for where we are in the Phantom Menace?
Yeah. I'm like excited because this is, I think, the farthest we've gone from the original trilogy. Like it's 1,000 years.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
This is a completely original, no George
Right?
Lucas at the helm, era of Star Wars on screen for the first time. I've been saying it for weeks. This is why I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. I think they really need to nail it because, I think everybody loves Andor. Some
Mhm.
people hate it. A lot of people like Ahsoka. Some people
Same
hate it.
zero.
Some people like Kenobi. Some people hate it. I think it's time that we just had a
A
series.
good one
Yeah, just like for
that
one.
everybody likes.
Yeah, because I like it because it's Star Wars. That doesn't mean it's the quality is up to par. Like Andor is probably the best thing we've gotten forever.
Oh yeah.
Like I love the Book of Boba Fett. I love the punk mods. I love kind of sassy Fennec. But do I think it's an 8 or 9 or a 10? I don't. I don't think it's that.
I'm with you, Jesse. 100%. I too, the second I saw like the logo get announced for this show, I was already excited, and this has turned to be out like exactly what I want. So I want to talk. What are some things you do want to see this season?
I would like to see, and I don't think it's going to happen, Yoda as a character. Maybe not as like essential character, but
He
enough
was a
where
separate bullet point, but I'm fine with this. Yeah, I don't want to see Yoda either. I think maybe
I,
like
I do
the
want to see him.
end.
You want to see him?
Nah. I think if they do it, they have to be really conservative with him. I don't think he can be on the screen for a long amount of time or say a whole lot. But I think if like the last shot of your show is like Carrie Ann Moss or the guy from Squid Games walking into the High Council chamber and Yoda's the only one in there, and we hear him say one line, I think that is the perfect amount,
See, for
personally.
me, I feel like the exact opposite because Star Wars
Huh.
traditionally plays it safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just they relegate Vader to kind of cameos, comics, and with Yoda, he's been in the Last Jedi, he's been in a couple episodes of Rebels, but other than that, they just don't use him, and he's one of the best characters of all time. And I think they're afraid of just you know not giving him a good performance, and people being like, "Oh, of course, now look, they ruined Yoda." Blah 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 blah. We need to see him as a character because for one, people are giving him the Dumbledore treatment where they think, oh, he's the reason Anakin fell. He didn't do anything. He let the he's a hero. He's one of the greatest heroes. Let's show him in his glory. He doesn't need to be the show, but I think, as like the third or fourth character that kind of comes in maybe 2 out of 8 episodes or something like that, that would be cool.
Give us Yaddle.
Not
Uh,
Yoda, bro. What do we
who is it that does her voice? Was
but
it
think about
Bryce
it. If we
Dallas
don't have
Howard?
Yoda in
No.
this series, when are we ever gonna get him? Do we just never get him?
I think we'll get him. I think that the reason that you have to be careful with Yoda is that's one of the things that George was specifically like, I really want this guy to remain a mystery. So I think a lot of it is you have to have the right person writing the show that's going to know these things and going to kind of know what bits they feel like they can pull from Legends to kind of bring current to make the fan base happy. Because I think that is what we're going to get here is a lot of stuff from the EU. Like we've heard, oh, what is her name? Leslie Headland.
Yeah.
We've heard her say already, like, hey, I've read a lot of the EU. I really wanted to do like Darth Bane or Darth Treya. She is name dropped, which means she's also played Knights of the Old Republic 2 and
Yeah.
probably the first one. So you can tell that she's somebody that's like really knowledgeable about it.
That's a
And it
deep
seems
Star Wars
like
game.
she
If you're
knows a
playing that
lot.
game, like you're like,
Yes.
it's not like you're playing the Force Unleashed. You're like, I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic. This is my entire personality right now.
I have both of them installed on my computer.
That's what I'm
Right now.
saying.
But
I'm hopeful.
here's a good one from Joel. Do you think Yoda will be a puppet or CGI?
I think you could do both, but I'd rather see him as a good CGI. The puppet kind of works when he's old.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though I don't like The Last Jedi, he looked good in that movie as a puppet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think Frank Oz will still do the voice?
I mean, if they can, why not? You know what I mean? I don't want to see some AI.
True. But so the budget for the show, are you ready?
Let's say
180 million for 8 episodes, a half hour each. How do you feel that's gonna go? You feel like that's enough? Do you want more money if you had the access to the money printer at Disney?
I mean, I think if you were Disney and you have literal billions of dollars, you throw as much money as you can, but make the story good. Like that's where it needs
Yeah.
to be the most. The story, the showrunner, the person who like with I forget his name, the one who was Boo, who was doing X-Men 97. You know, he was a showrunner, he had a vision and he made it work. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And that's what I'm most concerned about because I know it's gonna look good. Like I've seen the trailers, like the fight scenes look all right, the light whip, it looks fucking cool. You know what I mean? But what's gonna make or break this is the dialogue, the flow of the action, and what the actual story is. The budget is like is nothing because because this doesn't matter.
Spare no expense.
Exactly.
And to give you some perspective, I did look it up. Kenobi, 90 million. So this is going to be double the budget of Kenobi.
Damn.
This is more than a season of The Mandalorian
Only
costs.
90 million? That's fucking insane.
Yes. The Mandalorian's only 90 million. Estimates put Ahsoka at 100 million.
Okay.
We have Boba Fett at 15 million an episode, which is higher than Ahsoka. Then we have The Mandalorian. Skeleton Crew pulls in at number 3 at 17 million an episode.
Probably a lot of special effects there. That's why.
Number 2 will be The Acolyte.
Okay.
And number 1 is, of course, our dear sweet beloved Andor.
But look how good it looks, bro. Like I can't think of a scene that it looks bad in Andor. From the first episode, we're on that bar planet where he's just walking on the catwalk, to when they're in the grimy like barracks of his home place, to where you're in the IBS or like what was it, the Imperial Bureau, whatever the fuck. Like everything looks so clean and so perfect, and it's shot like a beautiful like Christopher Nolan movie. You know what I mean? I think that's what you need to do. Like I don't want to say give Gilroy like the keys to every fucking franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you need to have people who are just as talented running the show.
Give me a Martin Scorsese Marvel series.
I like how Lucas pushed back against Scorsese when he was like, the language is like, if it's a moving picture, it's cinema. So all these things, even if you don't like it, it's cinema.
That's a good point, Joel. I did not find out whether these are the budgets for UK and US, so they could be different numbers. Because Andor and Acolyte were both shot in the UK, which I assume does make it more expensive to shoot because they have a lot stronger labor laws and things like that.
Yeah.
However, I will say that if the only show that is coming in is more expensive overall is Andor, I think that the budget here might not be a concern. Yeah. I think that they've got a lot of money to work with in 8 episodes, around 30 minutes long. I have not. Do you know if they've said they're going to use the volume?
They have, I think.
No.
There's a couple of shots outside. And like the volume isn't bad. It's just when you use too much.
Too much. Yeah.
You know, because The Mandalorian, I think even the first season, they mixed a couple, volume shots with a lot of like inaction shots with like the town. Like the first season of The Mandalorian, I think it looks amazing. The second season did not look as good, I think. There were just some scenes where it was like,
Well, I think when we did the 3rd season, we talked about this. I think that was more a tech demo for the new version of the volume. Like it looked good, but a lot of the scenes do come out kind of flat. But I think used sparingly, it's a great.
And it's the lighting. Like I remember somebody had this one picture, and like this is your guy, Sam Raimi, when like Peter's just standing in front of the window and like Mary Jane comes behind him, and it's beautifully lit. Like it is, you know what I mean?
I take it back. If I had to choose one person to do a Star Wars series, Sam Raimi. Never mind.
But then you have these other like kind of like volume shots with the lighting. It just it looks like how I'm lit right now, just light everywhere, white everywhere, and there's no depth, no that. And I think you have to make sure that shows like The Acolyte aren't just shot where it just looks the same everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like 30 minutes is enough each episode?
Fuck no, man. Like,
no. you want the full like hour 45 premiere episode, like
what
hour-long second episode.
Can you tell in a half an hour? Like, I'm not saying it's terrible, but in a show, like imagine I said to you, oh yeah, we're gonna watch House of Dragon. It's a half an hour episode.
That is true. I feel you there.
You'd be like, what? No. Like, I'm sure, like maybe one episode, like how you know that one Ahsoka episode just wasn't long because that was just how the story episode. But like, it should be 40 to an hour because that's how much story you want to tell.
Yeah.
Your budget's like 200 million. Tell more fucking story.
You know, though I wonder if that's because we're not going to see a lot of the volume. We are shooting in the UK. We've seen clips of where they've shot in Italy.
I mean, everything I've seen in the trailer looks okay. There was one shot in the forest where I was like, that doesn't look as good. But it's a trailer. Like, wait to see it on screen because
That is another part of
yeah,
Disney's very odd marketing strategy is like, well, we're going to send it in the trailer without it being completely done.
yeah.
So,
I remember that there was that scandal with Ahsoka when they're like, is that a lighting kit in the background when they were talking about we thought it was the World of Worlds?
yeah.
You know, so like I think you definitely have to wait because most of the internet hates this already for some reason. Who cares?
Oh, I'm still extremely excited. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to be very honest. If it didn't go into the CG portion of the budget, that probably means we're getting a very well written story. And I feel like that's something that Star Wars could use. We know that this is going to be a more adult oriented story, kind of like Andor. So I'm
And it's
very
out of
excited.
the public, bro. Like some of those books are like the best Star Wars I've ever, you know, been a part of in my life.
Yeah.
The Rising Storm, Light of the Jedi, like these characters are great. Like if this does well, you know, people will want more of that era. And like, you know, if they did the Light of the Jedi as a movie and you know did it right, cast it right, like that'd be the greatest trilogy like we've seen in decades, man. Because the
So
story
Joel mentioned that Acolyte's going to be the first show that had a writer's room.
that's good. Writer rooms are good.
Hard agree. I wonder if that's part of the strike and whatnot, maybe. But either way, I feel like the more people that you have in a room, the better the story will probably come out for a completely original
Yeah,
idea.
because even the great writers, you know, they take opinions from other people. Like they have the final say, but like bouncing ideas off each other, like it's only gonna get you a better story.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I do want to know, do you have any like really crazy kind of tinfoil hat theories for Acolyte?
I don't, just because like it's so far in the past that like you really don't know where they're going. Like besides the trailers that you've seen, like someone comes back, I have to go see my students. Like there's not much knowledge that we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have like anything you'd really want to see out of that though. Like just if you had to put one thing to paper to show up here, what it would be.
There are these villains like in like the Rising Storm, they're like kind of like pirates, you know what I mean? I forget their exact name, but they have this kind of way of like navigating space lanes and kind of getting there faster. I would like to kind of see, they call it the paths, I think. I would like to see that kind of like Easter egg or like in the series. That'd be really cool.
I think that if we got anything super unique, I really want to see like magic, like Sith magic.
Okay.
Uh
It'd be cool to see her bleed her lightsaber, like see that
yeah.
live action. You know, like you see her like kind of going back to when she turned and like kind of like what happened in the Cal Kestis game where she just takes the lightsaber crystal out, bleeds it, and puts it back in, and that's how you get a red blade. I think that would be really cool to see.
I think that that would be super sick to see. But I'm talking about I want to see more of what Palpatine was doing in Rebels.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like the spells, like looking through and things like that.
Yeah. I think that might be why they're calling them acolytes. Maybe they're not Sith at all, but a different kind of dark side user. Kind of like the Night
What
Sith.
random planet from the Star Wars universe that is not Tatooine would you like to see?
I'd like to see. I feel like we'll see a lot of Coruscant, so that one's really easy. So I'm not going to give it to that.
Okay.
Genuinely though, I'd like to see some more of Ilum or you know, maybe even Yavin 4. Because
Really?
there is that Masasi temple that the rebels are based out of in A New Hope, and that was like a very strong connection to the dark side and legends, and I think that would be interesting to see. What about you?
I would love to see Kashyyyk. And there's a remember the Force like Force Unleashed, they had that planet Florum.
Yes.
That'd be a cool planet to see.
Do you think that, since we know there are Nemoidians in the show, do you think they'll have the accents?
Are those the dudes from the Phantom Menace who were
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the
They
ones.
come through, impossible.
Yes. Victory. I can still hear it clear as day in my head. I don't know. I kind of feel like they might, because it's already established and they've already kind of not wanted to do changes like that.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, no, we're just two dudes from Brooklyn, Coruscant.
I'm fucking dead. I'm dead. I'm dead with you. You think we'll get any force speed or force healing?
Force speed or forced healing.
Yeah,
I don't think we might see force healing. It would be
think so?
interesting because that one's kind of like an OP one. We've only ever seen Ben do it.
Yeah. Everybody knew how to do it
Uh,
except for Anakin. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like I feel like that really diminishes his fall to the dark side. If they were like, no, we could have done this the whole time.
Bro, you didn't know how to do this? Just put your hand right there. You know?
That's
I
probably
would
that
like to
one
see force
class
speed
that he
though,
skipped.
like a little force speed because we saw it once in the Phantom Menace. I think that's it.
Let's see here. Actual prediction: we've not seen Sith Masters in the trailer. I agree. I don't think we've seen anybody that looks like they're a Master Sith.
I still think that that person with the helmet with the teeth is the Abeloth character from Legends.
Oh God, I think it's supposed to be her on the helmet. I don't think it's them.
Because I think the best thing to do would be to have that character and then have that kind of go up towards because like when Balin was standing at the edge at the end of Ahsoka, someone was calling to him. That'd be a nice way to kind of connect the overall universe together and get a huge new villain. Because I think Star Wars
Yeah,
needs a big villain.
I
Not
think you're right. Like their own Ultron, if you will.
bro, something. Not the Emperor. I'm gonna say it again.
Not the Emperor. Someone different. Someone older.
Some
Uh,
another villain appeared.
I think it would be interesting. I've also kind of thought because Leslie, I think I'm saying that right, Headland,
Okay.
has said that they want to bring Darth Treya in. That's kind of who they thought of. So I wonder if we're not going to see more people that like believe in her teachings in this show, which is like nobody should use the Force.
Who was the Darth who was always in those cool like video games, almost like the bird faces, like Malgus or something like that?
Oh, that's Darth Sion. That's the one that just doesn't die
Yeah,
until he just gives up.
that one was dope, man. I love those trailers. Like we need some battles like from those. Like I want I like you know what I would really like that we're not gonna get. I want to see an action scene to the Duel of the Fates like song because we've gotten it in 2 movies and it's just like what we have this like peak music. We're never gonna use it again. It's too good. Sorry, one time.
Yeah, no.
One
I
time.
think the next time you might see that is the like pre everything movie that what is his name?
Bro. We need that. Like that would be so dope.
I I don't know. I'm very excited to see what they do with the show overall. Like I think that it's going to be hard to go wrong. Oh, Jesse says he wants to see a Rancor attack.
I mean, can't go wrong with a Rancor.
Well, that's funny because the lightsaber whips were used by Dathomiri witches and they rode Rancors in Legends.
They did. I remember I read that book, The Courtship of Princess Leia, or something like that.
Live action Twilight of the Apprentice.
Hmm.
That'd be cool to see.
That is probably like Twilight of the Apprentice. If I had to pick like 5 Star Wars moments or things that I love, it might be number 1. I remember
Yeah,
watching
good one.
Rebels week to week when nobody else was fucking watching that show. I had nobody to talk to about it, and it was so painful watching Peak. I want to see Joe Davis. I want to see some nice sisters too because we've gotten a little bit in Ahsoka. We got a little bit in
Tales of the Empire.
like I want to see and then Tales of the Empire like that. So underutilized.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. And we've seen the whips. Give us the rest, I think. So do you have any final thoughts about what we might see, what we want to see, your general feeling a week away from seeing the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte before we let everybody go?
I'm pretty excited, man. June's like lit. You got, House of Dragon, you got Acolyte. My friends who watch The Boys are like super pumped. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just, it's an exciting month. I can't wait to like watch it and review it and talk about it with you.
Well, I've got to catch up on The Boys. I got to that party late, and the episodes are an hour, and I have a kid, and my wife and I are watching that one, so I can't just watch ahead. Uh, oh, well, Jesse, happy early birthday. It does sound like it's going to be the best birthday ever.
Yeah. What are you more excited for, the Acolyte or House of Dragon?
I think the Acolyte. I mean, I'm not wearing a Game of Thrones shirt, although I do have a Game of Thrones book on my desk right
That's
now.
insane. I know you love that shit.
Oh, but I think I'm more excited for the Acolyte just because it'll be sooner. You know, I can watch this one with my wife and by myself to get it done really quick. I think it's going to be really good. House of the Dragon, though,
man. Like Carrie Ann Moss is dope. The dude from the Squid Games, whose name I don't know right now, like he's amazing. The actress who played Laura and Logan, like it, looks stacked. So I'm pretty excited.
I think that's another reason that it's going to be really good is we have a lot of good actors in this that have never been near anything like, well, Carrie Ann Moss, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Wookiee too. Like I wish it was
Yeah.
from the High Republic series, but just a Wookiee Jedi is like something we haven't seen yet, and like big strong Wookiee. Like
I think he's gonna die.
Yeah, of course. Like probably, man. They're gonna break our hearts somehow. Someone's dying. They're not just having a whole series and nobody's dying.
Yeah, I feel like it's the Wookiee.
Than Carrie Ann Moss.
Huh.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I want a fucking lightsaber.
Right.
Yeah. If you had to pick, you can only have the cross guard or the whip or the double. You can't have a single. Which one are you doing?
Oh, I feel like the cross guard. I think I'm killing myself with the other two.
Yeah.
I think the cross guard I can manage as long as I stay away from the spinny boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
One slip of the wrist there and my hand's gone.
She has the whip. She can do the thing in Rebels where she just spins and flies away like Mary Poppins.
Nah. I hope not.
Nah. Now I'm good though. Couple days, I'm pumped, bro. And I like like I said, the 2-episode drop.
Nah, miss me. I know they have robotic hands, but I feel like in the middle of a fight, I'm not going to get the chance to get the robotic hand if I cut my own arm off or myself in half. I'm very accident prone. What about you?
I hope there's a surprise in the show. Like, you know how like we saw the double lightsaber in the trailer, and like I just hope there's something in the show that we haven't seen in the trailers that when we see it, it's just like, oh my god. Kind of like
I think so.
Something, you know?
Like the writer for the show seems very smart and very knowledgeable, so I'm sure that there's going to be, if not an Easter egg, then like some very deep lore that we get confirmed from Legends that fans have been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
Like maybe Abeloth.
Somehow Abeloth has returned.
I still think that one's a bad idea. Too OP.
Yeah.
Too OP.
It'd be cool. I mean, I have faith, and I'm ready. Like I'm ready for Star Wars content. Like Bad Batch. Like Wednesdays have been so sad because I wake up and I have no X-Men, no fucking Bad Batch. Like I need a new show. I need it right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for us. We're almost at an hour now. If you guys want to continue the discussion, you can join us on our public culture slate Discord. The link to the Discord is in the comment or in the description of the video. Or you can join us on our Twitter and Instagram. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to stay up to date with everything we'll have going on in the channel in the future. Again, I'm James. This is Rich.
Yeah, bro. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum.
Do you have any plugs or anything? Where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok. Post clips of this, some random cool videos. And I'm banned from Twitter, so not there.
Yeah, you can find me almost anywhere at jcockram92. I'm not banned from the website formerly known as Twitter. No, I'm not calling it that. It's
like
I much prefer the Prince nomenclature. Yeah,
the app formerly known as Twitter is the same numbers.
I'm telling my age a little there when I say the website known as Twitter. I don't even use the app. I browse it on my desktop. I'm a million years old.
Someone once said that they were like, I don't use the Facebook app, and like it dawned on me because they were like 23 years old. It was like, oh, they've only known this as an app, not a website, because I'm fucking ancient. And I was
ancient.
That was good talking to you, man. I'll text you on Tuesday and we'll talk on Thursday, all right?
Sounds good. We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat place. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on any of the platforms you watch us on tonight. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.